Hello, this is Lee with Lord's Chimney again, and today's topic is why do you need a chimney company? And I have customers ask me this all the time, and just because of the recent freeze, we have different answers to these questions. But normally what happens is in our market in Houston or anywhere along the Gulf Coast where it's warm, it's, well, I don't use my fireplace at all, or maybe during Christmas, once a year, why do I need a chimney company? And there's a really good answer to that. Number one is we can go back to freeze. So even if you use it once a year or not at all, or when the freeze comes up, what do? Are you prepared for it? Do you know how it works? Is it maintained correctly? Is there something going on? Because I can tell you for a fact, if you don't use your fireplace, it is going to deteriorate faster than if you did. I'll repeat that. If you do not use your fireplace, especially in our market where there's a lot of water, and as you get closer to the coast, you get salt, your fireplace is going to deteriorate faster than if you used it actively. Why is that? It just depends on what type of fireplace you have. If you have, which lots and lots of customers have, either a metal prefabricated or manufactured wood burning fireplace, whether it has gas in it or not, or one of those remote control or wall switch type metal fireplaces, those fireplaces are an appliance, like a washer or a dryer. They do not last forever. They will either rust because you don't use them and they're wet, and if you use them, it dries them out. They're designed to be used just like a car sitting in your driveway. If you just let it sit for years upon years, it doesn't last as long as if you actually use it. Rust or warpage, meaning if you use it a ton, which few people do, but we get every once in a while, we'll get somebody who they use it every day for a long period of time. Eventually the metal will start to warp. And either of those, unless there's an active water leak, doesn't necessarily mean anything's wrong. It just means this is not meant to last forever. So it brings us, and I think I discussed this in a previous video, how do you know when it's time? That leads us back to our topic for today is, why do you need a chimney company? When we do our inspections, we're going to look for little pieces of rust, little bits of warpage. We can go over things that, and it may be that you have a slight hole or a gap or something needs to be recaulked. That's very probable. And we can react to those while they're little and extend the life of your fireplace. So when we extend the life of your fireplace, a little bit of rust, go up, caulk something, replace something. There are parts of that fireplace that are designed to be replaced, just like tires on a car. So the metal top eventually will rust. There are things in gas appliances, valves, pilot assemblies, stuff like that, that are designed to go bad over time. And if we react to those quickly and make sure that we get those replaced so you don't have water dripping on your fireplace, we can extend the life of your fireplace. Same thing with warpage. If you're using it where you're just stuffing wood, we can adjust the way you burn to stop fireplaces from warping to a certain degree, because eventually they will need to be replaced. It's like a refrigerator, right? Eventually it gets replaced. You don't want to put a new engine in an old car, same thing. For masonry fireplaces, the brick and mortar ones that are not built out of metal, they're not a kit. Same thing goes on. If you have water leaking into your fireplace long-term, it's going to do thousands of dollars of damage. I've talked about in previous videos, look up at the top. Do you see mold streaks? Do you see anything like that? Does a brick not look clean? Look at the brick on the rest of your house. If you have gutters and proper soffits, usually the brick is really clean. Your chimney should look the same way if it's properly waterproofed, if it has proper drip edges on it, but you should not see mold on a fireplace. All right, let's go down the road of what happens when something happens with your fireplace. It gets struck by lightning. Something like that happens. We have a hurricane. Many insurance companies will then, some of them will just pay out. I have had insurance companies actually say, how do we know that damage wasn't done by a previous hurricane, a previous lightning strike? How can I assure that that was happened during this event? And the answer for us is we can document the damage, but we don't know when the damage occurred unless you have an inspection from the previous year that documented everything was okay. And then we can document that it was okay there and then it is not okay here, and it had to happen sometime in between, and that insurance company insured your chimney and your fireplace during that period of time. That's one of the points to having yearly inspections and clean as necessary. Document that nothing is wrong over and over and over again. And then when something's a little wrong, we fix it while it's little, and we don't let it become a huge deal. There are very few surprises when you actually maintain it correctly. So other reasons that you would need a chimney company. I have critters in my fireplace. We hear it all the time. Critters in your fireplace means that there's something wrong on top. You should have some kind of a screening, and it has to be proper screening, because if you do it improperly, you can stop your fireplace from venting and it can back up into your house. Or with certain types of fireplaces and chimneys, they need airflow to cool themselves so they don't overheat the area around the fireplace. If you put the wrong type of screening or the wrong type of cap on top, you can create problems that way as well. It is very important that we take care. If you have critters, if you have those birds, and this is the time of year, I just looked outside, it's that time of year. They're migrating. They're going to come through this area almost more than any other area. They're going to come up through Mexico, through our area. They're going to nest in your fireplace. If you have that every year, that is not a good sign. That usually means that there's something besides just the birds that is an issue. If you want to use your fireplace at all, not just once, if it's just once, you still need to have someone come out and look at it. You need to know how to use it, what's normal, and what is the condition of your fireplace. If it's brand new and you've never used it, that's even more of a reason. If you bought a house, this is a big one for me, and this is experience talking here. 17 years of experience, which seems like a long time for me, but for some other people, I know there's some chimney gurus out there much, much longer. For me, it's 17 years. If I have a fireplace that you're just moving into a house, and it's got a fireplace, your house is about 10, 15 years old, and no one's ever used the fireplace. Sometimes there's a reason for that. Sometimes the reason is the previous homeowners just didn't have time. They traveled a lot. They didn't use it. Other times it's they used it once and it didn't work well. There's something wrong. It was constructed wrong. Someone put it together wrong. There's something going on. Also, if you're moving into a house and you see freshly painted brick, often it means there's smoke stains underneath that. That's the benefit of having, before you buy a house, having a chimney company come out and look at a fireplace, put our cameras inside of it, take pictures, go to the top, get in the attic, look for any little details that may be off to try to give you hints or exacts on what's wrong, what could potentially be wrong, so that you don't get caught with big repairs after you buy the house. So why would you need a chimney company? I'm buying a house. I want to know. Home inspectors are going to tell you, you need to have it cleaned. You need to have that looked at. Do not do that after you buy the house. It happens all the time. I have people call in. The home inspector said it just needed to be cleaned. And we come in and then we find, sometimes it's perfect. A lot of times we find thousands of dollars of wrongness. I guess that's a correct word. That the fireplace itself has been leaking for years. No one actually saw water, but there's been water leaks in it for years, or was constructed incorrectly. And my experience, it doesn't matter if it's a $50,000 house or a $50 million house. Some of them have the exact same problems. We've been contracted to go to Austin to do some government housing for well-known people, the governments. Some of them have 18 fireplaces, and they were all built wrong. All of them. High dollar companies come in, high dollar masons, they come in, and the first time they burn them, the whole facility fills with smoke. We put cameras in, it turns out there's holes and gaps, all kinds of stuff wrong. It's important to have it inspected correctly, know how it's built, and to make sure we get that stuff fixed, because it can be a severe problem. Hopefully I'm answering your questions. If you have anything you want to specifically I can't speak today, specifically cover, please shoot me a message. Lee@lordschimney.com, info@lordschimney.com. Shoot me a message. Let me know. I can answer any questions you want. Ask me questions live. Shoot me a Facebook Messenger. Let me know. Also, Like our Facebook page, follow it. We have a YouTube channel. All these get posted to YouTube as well. Follow our YouTube channel. Give me feedback. Let me know if this is constructive at all. I'm trying to do these at least once a week, sometimes two. But I will answer your questions and we will get you taken care of. So guys, why do